जय हिंद एवरीवन। आज का चैप्टर रहेगा हमारा चैप्टर नंबर 7 क्लास 6 टेम्परेचर एंड इट्स मेजरमेंट। और यहाँ पे कोट लिखा है, रॉन्ग मेजरमेंट आर वर्स देन नो मेजरमेंट एट ऑल। दैट्स राइट। एंड आवर स्टोरी स्टार्ट। Lembok and his elder sister Phoeben live in Shillong. One day they came home from school. Their parents were away at work, and Lembok complained that he was feeling fe- fevers and felt that he might be having a fever. To confirm this, she took out the thermometer kept in the army and she coats its tip with soap and water and measure Lembok's temperature. To her relief, she found that his temperature was normal. She washed that thermometer tip again and dried it and put it back. She then asked Lambos to change his school uniform, eat his lunch, and rest for some time, hot or cold. We know from experiment that some bodies are hotter than others. For example, during summer, the tap water may be hotter than the cold water from a matka, earthen pot, or a refrigerator. We can realize this by merely touching the two samples of water. But can we always rely upon our sense of touch? Let's find it. And activity 7.1, investigate. Take three large containers and labels them A, B, and C, and so in figure 7.1. Pour warm water in container A, tap water in B, and ice water in C. We will conduct this activity in two parts, prediction and observation. Firstly, predict. What will you feel if you dip your right hand in A and left hand in C and keep them there for 1-2 minutes? This ये वाला experiment कर रहे हैं अभी. Take out your hands from container A and C and place both hands simultaneously in B. Write down your prediction. What will my right hand feel? Normal, on, it means warm, and dropping in B, so very cold. What will we feel? Hand on dipping in B. B is normal water, but C is very cold water. Now conduct the activity and write your observation. And आप अपने observation इसमें लिख सकते हैं. Compare whether your observation match with your prediction. Did your right hand feel that the water in container B is cool, while your left hand felt that the same water is warm? What do you infer from these observations? We can't always rely upon our sense of touch to decide correctly whether a body is hot or cold. Temperature, a reliable measure of hotness or coldness of a body is its temperature. A hot a hotter body has a higher temperature than a colder body. The difference in temperature between the two bodies tells us how hot a body is in comparison to another body. A device that measures temperature is called a thermometer. There are two kinds of thermometer that you are likely to come across: clinic thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Clinic thermometer are used to measure human body temperature, whereas laboratory thermometer are used for many other purposes. Let's now learn more about thermometers and how to use them to measure temperature. Measuring temperature, clinic thermometer. First discussion are clinic thermometer. You might be familiar with a thermometer like that shown in figure 7.2, like this. and which is used for measuring our body temperature. It means 37 degrees Celsius. It is called a clinic thermometer. Such thermometers show temperature digitally. These are also known as clinical thermometer and run on batteries. These measure these measure temperature when the thermometer is placed in connect with a person's body. For measuring temperature, the clinic thermometer generally use a scale called the Celsius scale. On this scale, the unit of temperature is degree Celsius and it denoted by z- it means degree and then Celsius like that. And this type of different thermometer. Earlier, mercury thermometer were used for measuring the body temperature, but mercury is an extremely toxic substance and it's difficult to dispose of it. The thermometer breaks accidentally. Digital thermometer pose no such risk, and also the number in its display are easier to read. Therefore, mercury thermometer are being replaced by digital thermometers. Temperature in a digital thermometer is determined with the help of heat sensor. Now, during the COVID 19 pandemic, some special thermometers were used which could measure the temperature of a person from a distance. What were those? They are non contact temperature, also called infrared temperature. Such temperature can measure temperature without touching a person's body and thus reduce the risk of representing disease. So, three types: first, digital; second, mercury thermometer; and third is infrared thermometer. And now let's measure activity 7.2. Let's now use a digital clinical thermometer to measure body temperature. You may measure your own temperature as well as the temperature of some of your friends. Talk to your friends to find out who would be willing to get their body temperature measured by you. Wash your hand and the tip of the digital thermometer with soap and water. Reset the thermometer re- by pressing the reset button. Place the thermometer under the tongue and close your mouth. Wait till the thermometer makes a beeping sound or flashes a light. Take it out from the mouth and read the temperature on the digital display. When take it out from the mouth. Take it out from the mouth. Record the temperature in table 7.1. Clean the tip of the thermometer with soap and water and dry it. Repeat the above step for measuring the temperature of your friends. So these types of measurement of temperature with clinic digital thermometer, and this is the precaution, it means chetavani to be taken while using a digital clinical thermometer, to be used after reading the instruction manual of the thermometer. Tip of the thermometer to be washed with soap and water before and after use. While washing, care to be taken to keep the digital portion such a display out of water. Don't hold the thermometer by the tip. And now, normal normal temperature of a healthy human body is taken to be 37.0 degrees Celsius. It means नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर होता है हेल्दी बॉडी का 37.0 डिग्री सेल्सियस. बट इन दिस एक्टिविटी डिड यू फाइंड दैट द नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर ऑफ एवरी पर्सन वॉज 37.0 डिग्री सेल्सियस? Yes or no? No. Or did you find the temperature slightly higher or lower for some people's? Right, higher or lower, because different places impact and weather impact like that. The temperature of every person may not be 37.0 degrees Celsius. What we call normal temperature is the average body temperature of a large number of healthy people. A uh, perfectly healthy person may therefore have a normal temperature slightly different from 37.0 degrees Celsius. The body temperature is influenced by several factors such as age, time of the day, and activity level. You may try measuring your own temperature at different times of the day and on different days. Record the thermometer reading in your notebook. After a month, analyze your temperature record and see if there are any variation. If yes, try to think what might be the reason for that. The temperature of human beings does not normally go below 35 degrees Celsius or above 42 degrees Celsius. For measuring the body temperature of small children or old people, the digital thermometer can also be placed in the armpit. The temperature this way is about zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius to 1 degree Celsius lower than the actual body temperature. There is another scales of temperature known as Fahrenheit scale. It means two types of scale we also read out. It means first is degree Celsius and second is Fahrenheit. On the scale, the unit of temperature is degree Fahrenheit and is denoted by degree Fahrenheit capital. A temperature measure as 37.0 degrees Celsius on Celsius scale is equivalent to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit on Fahrenheit scale. The Fahrenheit scale is not used in most scientific study anymore. In scientific work, there is another scales of temperature known as Kelvin. It means third type Kelvin scale. On this scale, the unit for temperature is Kelvin and is denoted by K, and then SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. And अभी यहाँ पे कुछ क्वेश्चन है तो आप उनका आंसर दे सकते हैं. डू स्मॉल चिल्ड्रन जनरली हैव स्लाइटली हायर बॉडी टेम्परेचर एज कंपेयर टू अडल्ट, राइट? डू old people even when healthy generally have lower body temperature than young adult, right? Because uh, types of work, weather, and surrounding area and age. I have seen a friend of mine using a digital thermometer that reads temperature on a different scale. It shows the normal temperature of a healthy human body as a 98.6 Fahrenheit. What is the reason for this difference? So reason very clearly, because the type of scale Fahrenheit, right? In Celsius degree 37 point degree Celsius and Fahrenheit degree in 98.6 degree Celsius. All three temperature scales, Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin, are named in honor of the scientific who developed these scales. We can easily convert the temperature from Celsius scale to Kelvin scale by using temperature in Kelvin scale equals to temperature in Celsius plus 2273.15. It means Kelvin temperature. We will add in Celsius. The name of the temperature scales, Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, and Kelvin scale, start with a capital letter for the unit of temperature. Degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, the word degree start with a lowercase letter, while Celsius and Fahrenheit start with a capital letter. The unit Kelvin start with a lowercase letter. The symbol of all unit degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit, and third is only K, are capital letter. Note that degree sign is not written with K. A full stop is not written after the symbol except at the end of a sentence. And uh, our last chapter, we will recall our mind in measurement unit also. Not use uh, not use full stop written after the symbol, right? While writing the temperature, a space is left between the number and the unit. For temperature more than 1 degree, use the plural of degrees, it is degrees, while written the full form of the degree. Now, did you know how was fever detected for before temperature were developed? Fever affect the pulse rate of a person. This was known even in olden days in India. However, apart from fever, some other situation also affect the pulse rate. Hence, pulse rate alone is not a reliable indicator for fever. Reliable. Can a clinic thermometer be used for measuring the temperature of boiling water or for measuring the temperature of ice? No, the temperature of boiling water and ice are outside the range of a clinic thermometer. Who can we measure temperature beyond the range of clinic temperature? So, ऊपर हमने पढ़ा था क्लिनिक टेम्परेचर के बारे में और अभी हम पढ़ेंगे यहाँ लेबोरेटरी लेबोरेटरी thermometer. There are many types of laboratory thermometer, but the one that might be available in your school laboratory may look like the known show in figure 7.3. It consists of a long, narrow, uniform glass tube which is sealed. At one end of the tube is a bulk which contain a liquid. Outside the bulb in the tube, a narrow column of liquid can be seen. There is a Celsius scale marked along the tube. The liquid column rises or falls with change in temperature. The mark of Celsius scale with which the top level of liquid column coincide is temperature reading. And reading is 10, 10, 10 0, 10, minus 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 100. The liquid used in laboratory thermometer is generally alcohol colored red to make it easily seen or mercury. Let's observe. Let's try to find the temperature range of given laboratory thermometer. Take a laboratory thermometer and observe it carefully. Note down the following. What is the lowest temperature it can measure? Minus 10. And what is the highest temperature it can measure? 100. And so the range of this thermometer is minus 10 to 100. And now precaution to be taken while using a laboratory thermometer. Handle with care. If it hints against some hard object, it can break. Do not hold it by the bulb. Now look the temperature shown in figure 7.3 carefully. Can you tell its range? Yes, minus 10 to 100. Right, 110 degrees Celsius. Let's observe and calculate. Let's now try to find the smallest value that a given laboratory thermometer can read. Again, take the same laboratory thermometer which you used in activity 7.3 and observe it carefully. Note down the following. How much is the temperature difference indicate between the two bigger marks? How many divisions show by smaller marks are there between these two bigger marks? How much temperature does one small division indicate? So the smallest value that the thermometer can read is Figure 7.3b show a close up of a part of the thermometer shown in figure 7.3a. Can you now find the smallest value that this temperature can read? For the thermometer shown in figure 7.3b, the temperature difference indicate between 0 degree and 10 degree or between 10 degree to 20 degree is 10 degree Celsius, and the number of division between these marks are 10-degree division. So one small division can be read 10 by 10, it's equal to 1 degree Celsius. That is the smallest value that this thermometer can read is 1 degree Celsius. Your school laboratory may have a thermometer for which the range and the value of the smallest division may be different. It is therefore always necessary to look carefully at the thermometer you are about to use. You have learned how to find the temperature range of given laboratory thermometer. You have also learned how to find the smallest value that a given laboratory thermometer can read. We will now learn how to measure temperature using a laboratory thermometer, but let's first learn how to use a laboratory thermometer correctly. So, we will file a correctly measurement. Correct way of measuring thermometer using a laboratory thermometer, and these are instruction. When the thermometer is immersed in water, its bulb should not be the bottom or the side of the breaker. The thermometer should be held vertically, it should not be tightly. The temperature must be read while the thermometer is immersed in water. While reading the thermometer, the eye should be directly in line with the level of the liquid column to be read. Let's measure. Take some warm water in a beaker. Dip the thermometer in water so that the bulb is immersed in water. Observe that rise of liquid column in the thermometer. Wait till the column stop rising and note the temperature. Do not wait too long. Otherwise, the water itself will start to cool. What is the temperature of water measured by you? Compare it with the reading of your friends. Do you notice that as soon as you take the thermometer out of the water, the level of liquid column begins to fall? And now, this is the question: can we use a laboratory thermometer for measuring body temperature of a person? But this is the risky. This means that the temperature must be read while the temperature is immersed in water. Now, following two experiments setups are to be arranged by your teacher one by one as per your turn. Go closer to the startups and observe the reading of both the thermometer. What are the temperature of ice and boiling water? This is the ice and this is the boiling water. Laboratory thermometer, crushed ice and laboratory thermometer also use. एंड हमारे लिए क्वेश्चन भी दिया हुआ है. दिस एक्टिविटी शुड बी परफॉर्म स्ट्रिक्टली ओनली अंडर सुपरविजन ऑफ द टीचर. डू नॉट टच द एक्सपेरिमेंट setups. Read the temperature of ice and boiling water again after some time. Are the temperature same or have changed? You have may notice that the temperature of water remains constant while it is boiling. Also, the temperature of ice remain constant while is melting. Now, activity 7.6 and compare. Piban's science teacher arranged the experimental setup for measuring temperature of boiling water. The temperature reading of the boiling water taken by Fiban and her classmate in Shillong are given table point 7 2. It means Fiban, note down 97.8, and Sim Fang 98, OnStar 1 star 97.9, Chloe 98, and Pandarisha Pandarisha 98.1. Compare the temperature of boiling water recorded by different students. Why are they different in their reading? Discuss the possible reason amongst yourself. Maybe the correct way of reading temperature was not followed by all the students. Air temperature. You might have seen thermometers such the one shown in figure 7.5 hang on wall of your school laboratory, doctor's clinic and hospital. These given an approximate idea of the room temperature. Have you seen weather reports in newspaper, TV, news or internet? These reports also mention the maximum and minimum air temperature of the day. Activity for analyze, read or listen to be weather reports for a place for 10 successive days. Record the maximum and minimum air temperature for each day in table 7.3. Analyze the data in table 7.3. Does the maximum and minimum temperature stay at the same level during these days? Because weather depends on several factors, these temperatures usually vary every day. Generally, as we approach the summer session, the temperature rises and during the winter session it falls. There are many techniques for measuring air temperature. Air temperature is an important weather parameter and is mentioned at weather station all over the world. The data gathered on air temperature along with various other parameters are used for making weather forecast. It means different data, collect them and then overall uh, gather data and calculate and temperature measuring all data and then forecast of weather. Known as a scientist, Anna Mani थॉट ऑफ द जो स्टार्टिंग का थॉट था कि गलत मेजर करने से अच्छा है कि हम मेजर ना ही करें, तो वही साइंटिस्ट है अन्ना माने. 1918 to 2001 was an Indian scientist also known as the weather woman of India. Weather woman of India, Anna Mani. She invented and built a large number of weather measurement instruments. These record the reliance of India on other nations for such instruments. She also explored the possibilities of using wind and solar energy in India. Her work helped India to become one of the global leaders in renewable energy. And this chapter we will be completed also. You will also read out the summary. Okay.